Have you ever drowned in a trash can filled with water? You're probably gonna say no, which is the right thing to say. But unfortunately, I have. And this is a story on how I almost in a trash can filled with water. Before we get into the story, I just want to say, do not do this at home. I am sharing this for storytelling purposes and entertainment purposes only, so please don't do this. Don't be a trash mermaid. Stay safe, guys. Growing up, I got injured constantly. I was very accident prone. I was also a gymnast, which really didn't help my case because I was constantly doing flips, twists, cartwheels, handstands, everything. As I got older, though, my injuries began to diminish because I realized, hey, maybe I shouldn't dive into crocodile water. Maybe I shouldn't do a flip right beside a cliff. So I began to get more, self-aware of what was safe and what wasn't. I also stopped doing gymnastics, which also really helped my case because I was no longer doing flips and all these things. The reason I had to stop was because I was at a very big competition and I was on the floor doing my routine, doing my whole thing. And I ended up doing a back handspring and I broke my elbow. But plot twist, I didn't know it was broken at the time. So I continued doing gymnastics on it for literally 6 months. So eventually I was like, my elbow still kind of hurts. This is really weird. Maybe I should go to the doctor. And then I went there and they were like, oh, Evelyn, your elbow is broken and you need surgery. Anyway, this new injury-free life was great, okay? I felt amazing. This is what it felt like. But because I'm me and I'm very clumsy, this injury-free life did not last long, and soon enough I was on to the next damaging thing that would hurt my body. And this time, this damaging thing was TikTok. So, on TikTok, I started to post these ASMR foot crushing things. I would step on all these different foods and I would fake fall. It was honestly cringy. Don't know why this was a trend at the time, but people refer to me as the queen of ASMR foot crushing, because, I'm so amazing. But yeah, these videos ended up going really viral and I got millions of views, millions of likes, and I ended up getting, I think, 1 million followers in literally 3 weeks. It was amazing, and to this day, I'm so grateful for that. So because my personality is quite obsessive and I tend to obsess over things very quickly, I became very absorbed into this realm of views and likes and all these things that every single video that I posted, it had to top the last one. So because every video had to top the last one, I had to come up with lots of different ideas. So I had a notebook just filled to the brim with script ideas. And I also would go on TikTok and I would just scroll and try to find the latest trends that I could hop on to kind of get the most likes and views that I could. So one magical, beautiful day, I was scrolling on my phone on TikTok trying to figure out a new video idea. And I came across something beautiful, something exhilarating. I came across a trend where people would dive head first into a pool or any kind of body of water. And they'd pretend to be a mermaid while doing this. So they would shake their legs and just go into the water. And this trend was inspired by a show that I watched growing up called H2O Mermaids or Mako Mermaids, or there's a lot of different ones. Anyway, it was a thing that was like, Play-Doh! I'm turning into a mermaid! It was that thing. And I needed to hop on it because my entire childhood was this show. But the only issue was, I didn't have a pool. So I thought long and hard about what I could use to emulate the same effect as a pool. So I decided on a trash can. Now, I know that may sound crazy, because it ultimately is, but it was the only thing that I could think about at the time. So I headed to my garage and I hauled out my big garbage bin. I then brought it outside, and when I was bringing it out, it smelled so bad. It smelled like garbage. Obviously, it's a garbage can. And usually I feel like maybe that's a sign if it smells that bad to maybe not fill it up with water then jump into it. But again, I wanted the views and I was crazy, so I was like, woo, garbage! And even though it smells bad and my eyebrows are singeing off, whatever, let's do it, let's jump in! So once it was brought outside, I took all the garbage bags out of it because it was literally filled with actual garbage. It wasn't just an empty one, it was filled with things. So I was like, okay, taking them out. But since I have some self-respect, I did decide to clean it. So I took my strongest cleaning product and I really But fun fact, a garbage can will always smell like a garbage can no matter how much you clean it. So the smell really didn't go away. So after cleaning it out the best I could, I decided to start filling it up with water from the hose. And I'm not kidding, it literally took years to fill up. Years, I kid you not. It took so long and I legit grew a beard when it was happening. So after years and years and years and years and years and years and years, it was finally filled up. And it was time to jump in. But before I dove into this beautiful, blue, clear, super clean water, I knew I should probably get somebody to supervise this just in case things would go wrong. Which they did. So I headed inside and I told my mom, "Hey mom, could you watch me dive headfirst into a garbage can filled with water while I pretend to be a mermaid and flail my legs around like a lunatic?" And at first when I asked her, she looked so confused and concerned and just really honestly disappointed in me. So after my mom rethought all of her life decisions about bringing me into this world, it was time to go outside and take the plunge. When we got outside, I took my phone and I set it up in the most perfect spot where I would get the best angle. Then I took several steps back away from the bin and it was go time. I was hyping myself up. I was like, "Woo! You can do it!" And then it was time to actually go. It was time to do it. It was time to be the trash mermaid I always dreamt I would be. So I started running at the bin full speed. My heart was racing, but all I could think was, yes, I'm gonna be a trash mermaid! When I finally reached the bin, I dove head first. And as I went in, I placed my hands at the bottom of the bin, kind of like a handstand. And at the same time, I was kicking my legs to resemble a mermaid. But during this commotion, my hand slipped from underneath of me. And then my neck curved in an inhumane way, and I was trapped at the bottom of the bin. My heart began pounding even harder because I realized, oh my goodness, I am literally trapped in a garbage bin filled with water and I am drowning. I continued to try to push myself out, but it was really no use. My body was just curved in such a way that I literally just could not get out. However, after about what seemed like an eternity, it was only 2 seconds, I remembered, hey, my mom is supervising this. I'm not gonna drown. And this is when I felt her hands grab around my legs. And she tried to get me out, but it honestly wasn't working at first. And this sent me even more into a spiral because I was like, oh my goodness. Are you kidding me? She's not gonna be able to get me out. I'm still gonna drown in here because she's like too weak or something. I don't know. My mom's not weak at all, by the way. She's done so many cool, amazing races and stuff, so she's really strong. And she's in the military, but I was still panicking. Eventually, though, she was successful, and when I was pulled out, I felt like I was rising like a bird. I was like, woo! I'm alive! I was also so happy too because I obviously didn't want to like in the trash can. But could you also imagine how embarrassing it would be? Teenage girl drowns in trash can filled with water. Bruh. That would be all over the news. Like, I would be super famous, but like, are you kidding? Could you imagine that happened? And then when I was actually fully out of the water, my mom was laughing at me. And I remember at first, I was so mad that she was laughing because I was like, how could you laugh right now? I literally almost in the bin. How could you laugh? But then I was like, you know what? This is actually hilarious. I'm gonna laugh too. Because this is the funniest thing that could happen. Like, I just gotta laugh. So then my mom and I started laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. I think we laughed for like 30 minutes straight. And I remember anytime somebody would mention it, like literally a month down the line, we would just start laughing so hard again because it was the funniest thing ever. So that was kind of it. But after all that, I realized that, hey, maybe I shouldn't make videos where the entire idea revolves around something that I don't have. Because literally, who in their right mind decides, hey, a pool? And a trash can filled with water is the exact same thing, and I should totally just use this instead of this. Who thinks that? Disclaimer, don't try this at home. Don't do this. You don't want to be a trash mermaid. Like I'm telling you right now, don't do it!
Now it's time for bloopers!
I also stopped doing gymnastics, which also helped. Whoa! But. The only. Huh? That's a lot of butts. I decided to start filling up with water from the. Oh my lordy, lord, lord. Oh, I can't talk. Now here's a full video of me drowning in the bin. Enjoy.